My name's Amanda Jane Ogden, and this is my quilt called A Voice from the Past. It's all about the woman who taught me how to draw. It's to do with stitches in time, and I thought about the fact that whenever I draw, and my drawing always leads into my sewing, I remember the person who taught me to draw. I went to college as a mature student, having done sitting gills and embroidery, and I really needed to learn how to draw, and Jill taught me. And the portrait in the middle was a pencil drawing I did of her at the time, which I then made into an embroidery. And then I framed it with a quilted frame, and those are hand-dyed silk pieces that I dyed myself. Yeah, so it's a chain stitch done by hand for the lines of the face. There's hand quilting in that central area around the head, and then there's machine quilting around the frame. It's all done in silk, so with dyes that silk works well with, and they're just scrunched together, so you get the slight variation in the colours. I quite like it because I think it's honouring Jill, and I put in the programme that it's about the person who taught me to draw, and as long as I don't stand behind somebody who's saying something about it that makes me feel uncomfortable, then it's kind of a fun thing to do. And if we didn't put quilts in, there would be no shows though. I was trying to think about that question. I think when I was a teenager I was doing patchwork, because I remember doing hexagons pieced over papers and making them into a bag. And then I think the next stage was a lot later. I made a quilt for each of my children when they went off to university. But it wasn't until I did a sitting gills in quilting that I got really serious about it. And that was after the textiles degree that I really wanted to get my techniques better. I do have a Bernina, which I use a lot, and it's the 1015 SE. And I bought it the first year I was a student going to college, as I mentioned. As a mature student, I reckoned I needed a sewing machine. That's what I bought. I'm still using it, and I think he wanted to know which aspect of it I really liked, and it's actually something I bought on the stand last year at the Festival of Quilts, and it's the single hole stitch plate, and it's brilliant. So I use a 1/4 inch foot for piecing anyway, but having the single hole stitch plate, hard to say, just makes the piecing really accurate. So, and especially working with a fabric like a fairly fine silk like that one, it's been super.